Hello everybody, this is Richard and I'm back with another set of tips and tricks for Photoshop. Today we're going to be looking at a filter called Exposure X5, okay, Exposure X5. And I believe you can get a free 14-day or maybe 30-day trial of this filter. Just Google it and I'm sure you'll easily find it. So I thought I'd start out using this photo I took of a model maybe a week or two ago. And I'm just going to go up to Filter and down to, let's see, Exposure Software, Exposure X5. And watch what kinds of options I get here once this pops up. Okay, so I'm already on Daguerreotype black frame. It remembers where you left off last time, and then it brings you back to the same spot. So last time I was in this filter collection, I was in Daguerreotype and looking at how that might look on this photo. So if you're into daguerreotypes, which were popular in the 1850s, 1860s, you can also see another type of daguerreotype here with scratches and vignette. Then there's high contrast daguerreotype, and the one that says damaged, like this. So I think this looks great right here, this damaged daguerreotype, as you can see from here, the description. And I'll go over here now and look what I have. Down towards the bottom, I should have an option to add some different kinds of scratches to it, like damaged 5, that's the border. So I can choose maybe damaged 8 if I want to. This is even more damaged. So now it gets into the hair a little bit. So I can swap out my borders or how much damage I want done to the photo. Let's see what else we have. We have, I see now it's getting into film and some other ones here. But here's one like Grunge 3. All kinds of different options. So I'm going to go back to what I had, which was, I think damaged, I think it was damaged 8, something like this. And I'll hit apply. Let's see what happens here. Usually it's pretty fast. Yeah, there we go. So now I have a daguerreotype of this image. Here's the before. Here's the after. A daguerreotype of this image just by clicking and adjusting some settings. I mean, it was very, very easy. I didn't have to really think it through. I didn't have to go through a whole bunch of steps to simulate daguerreotype, and I didn't have to run any Photoshop actions. So let's see what else we can do here with Exposure X5. Once again, I'll come up to Filter. I'll choose Exposure Software, Exposure X5, and it pulls it up here. And there's also Wet Plate, which I really think is very nice. Let me scroll down to the bottom here with Wet Plate. I think it's right down here. There we go. So Wet Plate and Wet Vignette and Wet Border is what it has here, and that's a pretty interesting effect for the photo. Here's another Wet Plate option, which also looks really good. So you see you have varieties sometimes of the film version, and that's what exposure is all about, is how it is look on different types of film. Wet Plate damaged here once again. So we could select this, hit apply, and it would give us the Wet Plate look. There we go. So let me go back into layer and show you more. Go back, sorry, to that layer there that's untouched, and show you some more of what Exposure X5 can do. Because I was just looking at certain types of film. If you look at what I have here, let me go scroll up to the top. This was just black and white films, vintage. You see there's black and white films, Polaroid, black and white films, low contrast, black and white films, miscellaneous effects, and split toning, etc., bokeh, all kinds of different options here. But if I go into color, up here at the top, now I have color films aged, color films slide, color films vintage. Let me see what some of these look like. So here's autochrome with border. You see how that changes the color of the image there. Here's autochrome, less grain. Let's see, we have Kodachrome 35mm faded. That's a pretty neat little effect right there. and another Kodachrome look here. And so it's just all kinds of options basically for film looks, based on what your preference is, what you want, color, or black and white, or whatever you want. And then you can choose all up here to get all see all the different options together. Um, Black and white miscellaneous effects has some neat ones in it too. There's border with a negative look. Here's high key glowing skin. That's a pretty nice look right there, for the photo, because it makes it look like I was doing a high key image. Here's another high key contrast and vignette, and then high key platinum toning. So the looks you can get are just amazing, and I highly recommend. I'm going to choose high key glowing skin here for a minute. Choose apply, and the looks you can get are just amazing, from Exposure X5. So I highly recommend that plugin, that filter, and have fun with it. Download the trial version and see what you can do. So that's it. That's the tip for this time. And check back, hit like if you like this video, and subscribe to the channel, please. Thank you. Bye-bye.